Hello. Another MP from this region will stand down at the general election. John Gummer, the Conservative member for Suffolk Coastal, has been an MP for 35 years. Following the failure of the climate change summit in Copenhagen, Mr Gummer now intends to campaign on green issues.
John Gummer was talking about climate change years before it became fashionable. With 74 miles of coastline in his constituency, he's long been committed to the threats posed by global warming, and the failure of the recent talks in Copenhagen made him decide to act.
It was such a disaster that we've got to start again. And everyone is flailing about trying to find a way to get this back into some sensible arrangement. And I think that all of us have got to play our part. Now, I may only be able to do a tiny bit, but if I can do that tiny bit and other people do tiny bits together, we may have a chance of getting this right.
During his 35 years as an MP, he was in the cabinets of both Margaret Thatcher and John Major. When Minister for Agriculture, he famously allowed his daughter to eat a beef burger at the height of mad cow disease. He counts his greatest achievement as raising awareness of the need for coastal protection, and his deepest disappointment that a planned bypass on the A12 didn't take place. John Gummer's announcement makes him the third Suffolk MP to stand down ahead of the next general election, and it's this local work he says he will miss most.
Somebody would write you a letter or come in and say, I've solved that problem and things are now all right. And sometimes they were absolutely crucial. I've enjoyed that sort of surgery, that pastoral work which a Member of Parliament can have. Particularly now people sadly don't have a relationship with their parish priest or even with their doctor. The Member of Parliament can play that role.
John Gummer. Friends have been paying tribute to a soldier from Northamptonshire killed on patrol in Afghanistan. 19-year-old Aidan Howell of 3rd Battalion the Rifles lived at Desborough near Kettering. He was killed on Monday afternoon.
It's the most saddest thing I've ever known. He was just a fantastic, fun-loving guy. He just enjoyed every minute of every day.
It was so, like you say, fun. It was spontaneous.
Terrible shock for everybody. But everybody's rallying round. Everybody's trying to do the best for the family.
It's the best thing about being, like you say, a small town. Everybody's here for you.
Police divers have recovered the body of a second man who fell into a lake in Northamptonshire 8 days ago. Paul Litchfield went missing while he was out shooting with a friend at Brightwell Lake near Ringsted. The body of Philip Surridge was recovered last week. A section of the River Chelmsford in Essex has been lowered today to help police in their search for Adam Passfield, who disappeared after a night out in Chelmsford 11 days ago. The 22-year-old is a well-known local footballer.
Our indications are that Adam was last seen. He was walking along the River Chelmsford. That's our last confirmed sighting. We are searching the river. It is a possibility that he has fallen in, that's what we are searching for at the present time. But we are ever hopeful that Adam is still alive, and we are in touch with his family on a daily basis through our family liaison officer.
There's been an outbreak of the winter vomiting virus at another hospital in the region. Staff at Addenbrookes Hospital in Cambridge issued a warning to visitors after 3 wards had to be closed. Wards have already been closed in Southend and at the Broomfield Hospital.
The advice is that restrict visiting in the hospital to the minimum you possibly can. We understand at this time of year that people want to be with their loved ones in hospital, and it's a very difficult time, but we're trying to restrict access to the minimum possible, particularly children. And the reason for that is that this infection is out there in the community. There's lots of norovirus around, and the more people that come in who possibly are incubating it, the more risk there is.
Runaway pigs brought traffic to a standstill for 9 hours today on the M11 in Essex. A lorry overturned on the southbound carriageway near Stansted Airport. There were 82 pigs on board, and some managed to escape.
The M11 close to Stansted Airport early this morning. Not a thing moving. The motorway was closed between junctions 7 and 8 in both directions, and this was the reason why. A livestock lorry carrying 82 pigs had overturned on the southbound carriageway and damaged the barrier on the central reservation. Some of the pigs escaped and had to be rounded up by firefighters. Ladders were used as a makeshift fence, while riot shields were also used to corral the pigs into another lorry. The motorway was closed for 9 hours.
Obviously we have to keep the other carriageway closed as well to assist with recovery, and also while we were recovering the pigs, the highways people have come out and started work on the barrier, so it's safe to open both carriageways up as soon as it's clear.
The RSPCA were called, as was a vet, but 6 pigs died in the accident. The lorry driver received head and shoulder injuries and was taken to the Princess Alexandra Hospital in Harlow. Mike Liggins, BBC Look East.
A man has been arrested after a car crashed into a house at Brookfields in Cambridge just after 3 o'clock this morning. The driver then abandoned the car. The man was arrested and taken to hospital with minor neck injuries. Let's have a look at the weather. Here's Julie.
Thank you very much, Stuart. Well, we'll start with the radar picture.